Can you build wealth with stocks? I'm going to say absolutely you can. Now, if you are a trader, you're going to get up with the market and go to bed with the market. I used to do that. It is exhausting, my opinion. And as we shifted, I went into robotic traders. That was kind of my next stage of making money with stocks. That was interesting, not perfected until now. So I have now perfected how to get in and out of the market through this app called iFlip. And there's a link in the description below. Specifically, we're going to talk about how do you start with very little money, which this is the way to start with the smallest amount of money. I'm talking like anything under 5,000, because to get into real estate and a lot of other assets, you're going to need upward of 10, 15, 20, 25,000. A lot of accredited assets start at 50,000 just for one investment. I know investments that the minimum investment is 250 or 500. So what do you do? How do you get in stocks with a little bit of money and then grow as you grow your income? Next, what are the key strategies to maximize your returns and really pay attention? Not be so passive in your role of parking and praying. And last, what is the importance of due diligence, automation, specifically AI, when it comes to your stock trading? So with me today is Randy Tate, a partner. He's actually the CEO of iFlip. I brought him here to talk to us about the market. So to have this conversation, I have brought a partner and CEO of iFlip with me today who specializes in this category. So Randy Tate, welcome to our YouTube channel here on Integrated Wealth Systems and the Millionaire Maker. Let's start with the first concept and talk about, how do you start investing in stock with little money? Right. And I do want you to do some comparison of iFlip versus Robinhood and a few of the other platforms.
So yeah, today, if you want to invest with a little money, say you've got $500 or $1,000, there's a handful of things you can do. You can get an app like Robinhood. You absolutely can. However, you can, and it's free. You can get it, but here's the problem. You got to do it yourself. When you start to think about the time and energy it takes and the brain power it takes to become a good investor in the stock market, a good trader, if you will, the timing is substantial, and most people just can't do it. So that's part of why we created iFlip, because you can start with a little bit of money. So one of the keys is decide, do you want to be doing all the work yourself, or do you want somebody to do it with you and use technology? That's number one. And number two is you have to commit to making consistent contributions, whether it's $100 a month or $50 a month, whatever you can afford to grow your wealth over time. You can accelerate compounding by consistent contributions to the account.
Talk about the platforms with lower fees for beginners on trades and things like that. And then is there a minimum base just to get started with iFlip specifically?
There's a bunch of free apps out there now that you can use. Like we talked about earlier, they don't allow you any tools or technology to help invest. The system is rigged against the small investor. It's just rigged. There's no way for you to compete. A good advisor won't take you because you don't have enough money based on the way they charge. And those apps are designed to help you, but it's just too hard. You don't have the time, energy, and in many cases, even the brain power to do that. So we built iFlip specifically for that person. It's perfect for beginners because we give you the technology, actual AI, which also doesn't exist to the retail investor in the world today. We give you real machine learning, AI, and automation capabilities. You can literally just point, click, say, I want my $500 in that Smartfolio. And after that, the AI takes over and does all the trading for you, completely automated. Now, we are not free. We do charge you $7 a month.
Okay. And so talk about the Smartfolios and just to help people understand what they are. When you say there's a folio, it's just a one stock. It's not like independent stocks. There's folios in different categories.
Correct. So we call them Smartfolios. It's a portfolio that does all the work for you. That's why it's smart. And what it is, it's made of, you like that? Yes. That's the whole idea. It's smart. And so you can pick them. And, we have core. There's 3 core: balanced, aggressive, and conservative. Those are 3 core. Each of them are designed, as their name says, to be more aggressive, more conservative, or balanced. And then there's other motif ones. There's like a red oil that's just energy stocks. And then there's some that's like big tech, all of that. You can pick and choose however you want to do it. There's no wrong answer. So when you set that up, though, it's important to realize that these are small motifs. They're no more than 15 stocks in any Smartfolio. I'll break a myth right now. Your advisor will tell you that diversification is necessary to mitigate risk. So they put you in 500 different stocks. That is actually not true. The more diversified your stock portfolio is, the more risky it is because it behaves exactly like the S&P 500, which suffers although it is better overall if you can hold it for 30 years, it's better than real estate. However, in those 30 years, you're going to have four canyons. If you can avoid those canyons, you'd be great. Up till now, no one knows how to do it. That's what Flip software does.
Absolutely. And again, the real question was how, like a little bit of money. So what's the minimum base amount to get into a Smartfolio?
Yeah, $500 is the minimum, and it does trade fractions. So with as little as $500, you can trade Amazon and Nvidia and Facebook and all the big ticket items. You just want to keep contributing.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest mistake is the behavior doesn't happen consistently. And in all of the millionaire maker strategies, those of you who know, it's make, invest is the pattern of millionaires, not make, spend. It's make and invest. So you're constantly putting that as yourself. But in our case, we're not saying to pay yourself. Your company could have an iFlip account. So let's go to maximizing the rates of return. How can you control that or use the Smartfolios to assist in that?
You know what? We make the statement all the time that risk management equals reward. The stock market industry, the financial advisors of the world have been taught, and they will tell you that it's important to leave your money invested all the time. Do not take your money out because you can't time it. Well,
Yeah.
Maybe they were right in the 1960s, okay, when modern portfolio theory was being taught, and it still is. But the reality of it is, they'll tell you this over a 20-year period. Let me give you a perfect example. Over a 20-year period, and they say this all the time, up until about a year ago, I haven't seen the exact data. If you miss just the 10 best days of the market, your $1 million, by missing those 10 best days, if we're talking the S&P 500, you would now have 2.5 million on your million. If you just left it in and wrote it out, you'd have 5 million. However, what they don't tell you is that if you also missed the 10 worst days, you'd have over 10 million. They don't tell you that because it's more important to miss the bad days than it is to be in on the best day. So a perfect example was COVID. The Flip software, the AI, moved 85% of its money out of the market December 28th, 2019. Right before COVID, put it back in March 17th. And it skipped that entire dip. We're 20% or more ahead of the market that year. And that's how you mitigate risk. And that's how you become wealthy in the market.
Yeah, I love it. So before we go to our last point, I want to have you subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. Make sure you click the notification button. If there's topics that you want to learn about, first of all, go search them in the playlist. We have a lot of great playlists for you to learn from. And if you don't find something there, put it in the comment section and we will come live and have a conversation about anything money here on our YouTube channel. So Randy, talk about automation, due diligence, talk about that strategies. I mean, so many people, they think this bathroom wall called the internet is how they're going to do due diligence. And there's so many scams and so much crap out there. So talk a little bit about the due diligence and automation and how powerful it is.
Yeah, due diligence is tough. So if you think about, particularly when we start talking alternatives, you have to do your homework. You have to get informed. When you're talking about the stock market, well, it's going to be hard for you to go do due diligence on Apple. It's Apple. It's Apple. You're not going to get their corporate records. They're not going to give you their stuff because you want to buy 2 shares of Apple.
Right.
They're just not going to do that. So on the stock market side, we talk about investing with conviction. One of the automation pieces we have on the software, a lot of people don't take advantage of. You can go pick one stock and let the AI trade it for you. We have that ability. And so that is my partner, Kelly. He says that's trading with conviction. Have conviction about the company you're owning. Know it, trust it, like it, use their products. Don't invest in Adidas if you wear Nike. Don't invest in Ford if you drive a Chevy. That kind of concept. And the automation piece is critical because if you can't automate it, then you're going to be on the hook. Well, it's sending me signals. There's a lot of signal senders that are algorithms. That's not automation. That's an algorithm sending you a mathematical formula created and updated by a human. Ours is ran by AI, which is automated and created by a machine and does it for you. That's the big difference. And we are the first to market in this space with this technology.
So in the description below, we are giving you a link to get your first app. And we'll look forward to you actually coming into the company. And I think a lot of you will leave Robinhood and a few of those places when you start realizing that unless you're going to really get up with the market and go to bed with the market, you're putting your generational wealth, I would call it all your wealth, at risk. So grab the link below, get an iFlip app immediately. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.